Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Ram. Today we're looking at more plain things to plainly review. At this point, I'm caught up to the end of what was submitted to me in January. So if you sent me an email before the end of January, it's either already been covered in this or I've lost it, in which case I'm sorry. And hopefully I haven't actually lost it, it's just on my hard drive that I currently can't access because I still only have two SATA cables, so I only have, two hard drives, my main SSD and my data hard drive, which is what I've been using for recording in the meantime. This, I don't know what an SU-27 actually looks like, so I have no idea how to compare this, except I think those tail fins are definitely way too big. Also, there's no control surfaces on them. I don't know if that's intentional, but it kind of probably not a good idea. Also, these are placed right on the middle of this, so when this moves, it's gonna glitch into it and it's gonna look really strange, and that's kind of weird. Ugh. There's some interesting clipping going on here that I don't really like, to be honest, but... Oh, wow! I just noticed you have two cockpits merged into one. That is a really interesting way of doing things. Alright, well, let's give it a fly. And here we are on the runway. Something seems far too quiet. I just noticed something. I can't hear the jet. Can you hear the jet? That's very strange. Why can't I hear the jet? I should be able to hear the jet. Oh wait. Yeah, now I can hear it. That is very, very quiet though. That is interesting. Oh wow, KSP has been somehow turned really low on the volume. There we go. It's back up to normal now. Don't know how that happened. But yes, we're flying this thing, and let's see how maneuverable it is now. Not terribly maneuverable. I do like the way it was kind of boxed in on the bottom, and kind of the... Oh, I just noticed that the front is actually slightly angled down. That is cool. Those little attention to detail things that I like so much is... it's got some flaws, but it's also better at being a smooth, sleek design than anything I've ever done, so I really can't complain. That's the wrong cockpit. I mean, it's not the wrong cockpit, but it's not the cockpit I would have preferred. Also, what happens if I try to EVA? He does successfully get out, and now we're screwed. Oh, no, no! Oh, no! No! Bye-bye, jet. That possibly wasn't the best idea I've ever come up with. Yeah. Anyhow, let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so next up we have the SU-37, which actually looks to be very, very similar, as in it was just some canards added on the front and some control surfaces on the tail here. It seems to be about it for the differences. These were both made by the same guy. I forget if I mentioned his name on the last one, but his name is Martin Pecker. I'm sorry, now I'm making fun of his name. I feel like a bad person, but Pecker. Pecker. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Alright, well, let's give this one a fly. And I guess we'll test its yaw capability, since the last one had, zero yaw capability, but this one actually has some, control surfaces on the whatever axes you would call that. I really don't know right this moment. Ooh, this is more maneuverable. Or at least, it's at a slower speed right now, which is possibly why it's much more maneuverable. When we get up to higher speeds, it might go back to being less maneuverable, although... Let's see if we can get it up to as fast as the other one was going. Looks like it can get there. Not quite as fast, but close. And it's definitely way more maneuverable. So, oh, you know what? It's the canards. The canards, and the fact that the center of lift, I wasn't paying too close attention, but I imagine the center of lift is much closer on this one. And I just realized my phone was not muted, so you got a nice message sound appearing for your entertainment from a friend of mine. Yes. Can do barrel rolls pretty nicely. I like that. Well, yeah, pretty nicely. I'd say that's pretty nice. Oh, pull up, pull up, pull up. That was pretty close. Let's not do that again. That was nice. Let's see, what else can I do? I was thinking about the fact that the person who sent these in desperately cried for me to not try to use them with Ferrum Aerospace because they would disintegrate. That makes me really want to try them in Ferrum Aerospace. So if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go install that and then I'll be right back. First though, let's go ahead and crash this. So here we are again with Ferrum Aerospace Research installed, and with me having accidentally deleted most of one of my save files because I took out some mods temporarily to make it load faster, and then I accidentally loaded the wrong save, and then it's like, oh hey, all these craft are in this save that don't have valid parts. Let me just delete all of them for you. And I didn't have any backups. So, yeah, I'm in a really great mood now. Anyhow, the review must go on. So here we are with Ferrum Aerospace Research going to tell us how what do plane make fail, which is going to be great. So I open up the little far window here so we can see flight status and watch this thing horribly die or possibly not even take off. We'll see how that goes in a moment. I think it'll take off, but then again, we have gotten to a significant speed down the runway. There we go. Alright, so we are in the air, flight status nominal. Let's see what happens when I pull up. Minor stalling, large scale stall, minor stalling. Ooh, it does not like to be pulled up that hard. Let's see what happens when we pull up even harder. Nope. Oh, this is not too bad. It's more maneuverable than it is in stock. And I'm pretty sure I just clipped the mic somehow. That's interesting. Looks like it's actually flying pretty well in Ferrum Aerospace. I mean, he warned me that it would die horribly, but it actually looks like it's working fairly well. It is a little wibbly wobbly. That is interesting. Let's see. There is a thing. Where is it? Aero visualizations. There we go. So we can say, take a look at lift. So we're generating a lot of lift from these areas, which would make sense. That's where we would generate the lift. And let's see, if we look at drag, we can see that, yeah, drag on the parts you would expect to have drag, and then when we pull up like that, you get a massive amount of drag on the belly because you're, you know, pulling up into the airstream like that. And if we look at stalling, we can see that the bottom and most of the wings stalls when we pull too hard, which makes a lot of sense. And of course, when we're going sideways now, you know, the vertical stabilizers are stalling quite massively. We're also going quite a bit slower right now, which is interesting. I mean, we're not stalling right now. We're doing pretty well, but we are going slower. Alright, let's pull up. You can see the stalling happening. Unfortunately, it looks like the stalling like overwrites where you would see the lift. Yeah, because see, you can see all the lift we're having on the wings, and then when I turn on stall, you just see the stalling. Lots of drag happening, especially on the leading edges, you'll notice. On the leading edge of the wings. Wait, let me get into more level flight. Oh yes, and the control surfaces, of course. The control surfaces, a lot of stalling. Because why wouldn't they stall? I mean, not stall, drag. Drag, because they're literally being shoved into the airstream to control the craft. This is flying pretty well and far, though. I mean, you were worried that it would be torn apart by Ferrum Aerospace, but it's flying rather well. I say as I immediately dive down, and I thought I was stalling for a moment, but I wasn't. Alright, let's see. Let's go like this and pull up. I'm actually trying to tear it apart right now, because he said it would tear apart. It is not tearing apart. Maybe if I fly it higher into the atmosphere it would tear apart. I don't know. But right now, I'm more worried about the fact that I'm about to take a wing off. Hold on, or not. Yeah. Yeah, no, we're just gonna go around that. Alright, let's load up the other one after a quick crash. I said quick crash, that means crash now. There we go. Pancake. Ah, beautiful. What, the cockpit survived or something? And now it didn't. Alright, so here we go again with the Su-37. Sent in by that one guy whose name I forgot, and I don't have the text file open showing me his name right now, so I can't tell you his name. Also, our canards are stalling quite badly. The Su-37 design, which is basically the same thing with some additional canards and the ability to yaw, and I almost broke off the rear engines, and it's immediately barely able to hold itself together and keep from pulling up constantly, which is interesting. That's a major difference between the stock aerodynamics and this. Stalling out the tail, of course, quite badly by turning. Okay, let's see what happens if we pull up. I imagine it can stall quite badly, because the fact is that it has to push down a little bit on the nose just to maintain stable flight. So pulling up is grounds for major stalling. Quite bad, in fact. It's flying pretty well, though. Like, it's majorly stalling, but it's flying quite well. As I said that, of course, I just completely lost control of it, so, you know, not the best timing to say that, I guess. But here you go, I'm regaining control. I mean, I'm still in a large-scale stall and falling quite badly, but I am regaining control. As you can see, we can pull up just a little bit, having minor stalling, and we've regained control quite well from that. So actually, these fly all right in Ferrum Aerospace. They fly slightly more maneuverable, but a lot less stable than they do in stock aerodynamics. But overall, it's not that bad unless you do that, in which case you possibly are going to die. Nope, I'm fine. That's all for this time. Thanks for watching, as always. See you in space. Don't forget this weekend, I'll be live streaming again on Saturday. More of Guard Indecisively Plays. And also I'm about to... Oh, I didn't crash it. Okay, I really thought I was going to. And keep sending in planes and other kinds of craft for me to review. Primarily planes, but, you know, you can send some other stuff too. Time to crash! So here we are again, this time with Ferrum Aerospace Research installed, and I've also accidentally deleted most of another save because I temporarily removed some